Welcome! In this video we continue on with Chapter 9 of The Haunting of Dale in the Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. So our last battle went pretty easy, which has me very concerned about this one. Dale is burning Chapter 9, continuing on. We zoom in to Dale. Ursa marches on Dale and fires have broken out within the city. The final battle for the fate of the reborn city is here. The next adventure will be a journey map. Warning, this is a finale. Win or lose, the campaign will end. So hopefully we get as lucky as the last campaign or chapter. So moving on, see if any items upgraded. Our twice wrought ring mail looks like is moving up. So what we had before was when you suffer a wound after resolving all wounds from a single source, gain an inspiration. And if we were to test anything other than agility, basically to negate, we could test our might instead. So our three new options. The Blade Bane, we decrease our agility by 1, which I'm not a fan of. That takes our agility from 2 to 1. But that does increase our limits by 1 for both of those, so our fear would go to 5 and damage to 7. If you would test anything of those, basically everything except our agility to negate, we can test with our might instead, and we suffer all of our damage face down, which is really good. And that one is increase your agility by 1, increase your fear by 1, and same thing with the tests. That's decrease your agility by 1, increase your spirit by 1, increase those limits each by 1. Like I said, not a fan of decreasing our agility, but I think we can find a way around that with one of our attachments. So I think we're going to go with the Wraith's End. So our agility is going down to 1, but our spirit is going up to 5, and both our limits are going up, so we'll have a fear of 5 and a damage of 7, and the testing there. So we'll take the Wrath's End, and I think that's going to be it for anything being leveled up. Experience at 12. We are going to change for Gimli. He's going to be taking defense instruction. When a hero tests to negate, they may spend 1 inspiration to convert a fate to 2 successes, and it also gives us guard 2. So that's defense instruction. And then Legolas going to take Stalk Prey. When you attack, if there are no nearby heroes, add 2 hits, and we've got the hide option. So we'll press on that and continue on. Stand Guardian and Hunters. Okay, till today, Knights in Dale have been quiet and still. The undercurrent of unrest and fear leading the people to stay in and lock their doors after sundown. The tension is shattered as people flood the streets, crying for buckets of water or yelling for help as the blaze consumes their homes and businesses. The guards of Dale will be unable to maneuver through the city if this pandemonium continues. So we're going to place some things. So looking for 202A. Place that there and see where we progress. You join the masses in the streets, the harvest moon above you casting an ominous light where the flickers of flame have not yet reached. You wonder if this night echoes the attack of the dragon Smaug so long ago, and vow that Dale will not fall again. Our heroes are going here. Before we continue there, for Legolas, just another quick look at his stats. Once per round during our turn, we may spend an inspiration to move a space without provoking attacks. And our prepared as our Hunter 1. After you prepare the skill, that's what got us our inspiration. At the end of your turn, you may discard the skill to gain an inspiration or scout. And then for Gimli, with his stats, which we've changed, agility went down to 1, spirit went up to 5, fears at 5, damage at 7. After you perform an attack test, you may place a card from the test on top of your deck. I've been forgetting to do that for most of the game, so I'm probably going to have to remember that. And you cannot pass as our Guardian 1, so we can use guard for nearby heroes in addition to heroes in our space. And we've got guard 3. And off to the side, we've got his battle axe and Wraith's End. And we're starting him with the Dust Treaders. So if you would test agility or our might, you may deplete this item to test might or agility instead. And we've got 3 uses to do that. And before you move out of a space or interact with the token, you may deplete this item to not provoke attacks. So hopefully that will help us with our agility test, since our agility is now 1. And then Legolas has his bow and his cloak. And also his Forget-Me-Never with 2 uses. Well, there's no nearby heroes, increase spirit by 1. So depending on where we are, his spirit's either 2 or 3. And after you interact with a person token, you may deplete this item to gain an inspiration, become determined, and perform an additional action. And we still have a Swift Steed. Once per round, when you move out of a space, you may ignore enemies in that space. At the end of your turn, if you move 3 or more spaces this turn, gain an inspiration. All right, then back here, we've got our heroes placed. Moving on. Buildings of Dale burn as fires catches every curtain, bedspread, and support beam. Dark soot spreads across stone walls and ash falls between the fleeing townspeople. The youths of the city weave anxiously in and out of the crowds and filled buckets as chaos takes over the street. If they found a better way to maneuver the bucket through the crowd, they'd be more effective helpers. Place a threat token. Right there. Buildings of Dale burn as fire catches. Yes, yes, yes. The spread of the fire could be predicted. You might be able to create a fire break. Place a threat token here where we've started. And then 300B, I think sits like so. Get an exploration. And each of us scouts 2. So we've got Gimli's cards over here. And scouting 2. All right, we've got his ready defense. So when we test and negate, we get the auto success or the restless axe. Start of your turn, you may discard this. We're going to go with the ready defense. We'll prep that and put that on top. And then for Legolas, so much pressure. We know it's the finale. All right, precise strike or light-footed. When you interact with a search or threat token before you test, you may discard this skill to test agility instead and scout 1. That seems good. But if you're scouting 1, we already know what's on top. But we will prep that and put that on top anyway. And continue on. Barricades have been erected at each of the city's 3 gates. They are the only way in or out of Dale. Reaching the barricades and exploring the countryside beyond will allow you to fight the enemy before they infiltrate the city. If If you do not reach the barricades, you will have no knowledge of the enemy's movements. 100A gets placed there with an exploration. 101 is placed there. And 102. Tells 202, 300 are the city of Dale. The enemies are in Dale on either tile. During the shadow phase, Dale's current situation will deteriorate and the city may fall. Visiting the city's barricades and scouting the countryside beyond them will allow you to have a better warning of the enemies. Otherwise, they may take you by surprise. Enemies will begin arriving next round during the shadow phase. Well, it's pretty quick. While the fires burn, the guards of Dale are split between putting out the blaze and defending the barricades. If you put out the fires, they will be able to devote their efforts to defending the city from the army that marches on Dale. However, if enough of Ursa's army infiltrates the cities, it will surely fall. You must extinguish the blaze and defend Dale from Ursa and her army. Ursa will arrive at 65 threat. You and the city of Dale must survive until then to face her. Objective updated, put out the fires in Dale, 0 to 5, and repel the invading forces. So we have fires in here, but we need to get outside the gates, it sounds like. So here's where the action starts. Let's see if I can move this a little bit better. All right. Action 1, we are going to start with Gimli right here on this threat. Going to attempt to extinguish the fire, testing agility, of course. Gather a group of youths and ask that they show you to the closest water. There, more Dale folk are filling buckets and handing them to any that will take them. You organize the youths into a line through the crowd and show them how to pass the filled bucket between them. Gimli's showing people how to pass a bucket of water with his agility of 1, but that is why we have our dust treaders. We are going to deplete one of the 3 so that instead of testing our agility, we can test with our might, which is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get 1 success and nothing else to help us. Confirm. Fire rages on, heedless of your attempts to stop its gluttonous spread. Continue. His second action, we are going to move and explore and take that. Buildings of Dale burn. Place a threat token as indicated. And we get another threat token with more flames. And another threat token. Our journey continues. So he was in the process of move. He's going to move up here and explore, discarding and gaining One of the city's 3 gates is barricaded against the oncoming army. Now that you have reached it, you'll gain valuable information if Ursa's army approaches from this direction. Guards under Ursa's sway have turned upon their fellows at the barricades. The infighting threatens to neutralize the barricade completely. You must settle the guards' disputes to be able to utilize Dale's defenses. And then 206B. I think looks like so. 305B. Very quickly getting out of control here. All right, exploration tokens there. Our journey continues. All right, Gimli's done. So we're going to start using him. So we'll move back down here. He'll try showing them how to use a bucket. Except now, the hoarse voices screaming in the night and stampedes of the running toward or away the fire are distraction. So we need to test our wisdom, which is 3. We already know we have 1 success, so we'll just go with it. And we're going to go ahead and spend 1 to make it 3 successes. With your help, the fires in this area are soon dampened and extinguished. Gain an inspiration, then discard this threat token. Glad we gained that back because I meant to use that to move anyway. All right, we're going to use our once per round spend to move. Second action, we'll attempt to extinguish this fire. Catches every curtain, bedspread, and support. The use of the city weave anxiously. To deal with it, test our agility. Gather a group of the youths and ask, using the Dale folk, to pass buckets. So 4. We'll just take it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 success, which we know is not going to do it. Oh, it was. With your help, the fires in this area are soon dampened and extinguished. Gain an inspiration. Then discard this threat token. So we've got 2 of the fires taken care of. And that was all of our actions. So shadow phase. Each hero gains an inspiration. Let me... So 2 out of 5 and 3 out of 3. Like his father before him, King Bane is not content to sit idle when he would be of use. I will cover you. King Bane calls from the rampart, where he fires arrow after arrow into the fray. A hero becomes emboldened. Well, emboldened. At the end of your turn, if there are no nearby enemies, discard this boon. If you suffer any, discard this boon. When you attack, add 2 hits. We will give that to Gimli. Tire Messenger runs messages through the city. Sightings of the enemy, she calls. But no one can rightly say from which direction. During the next shadow phase, enemies will arrive from an unknown direction. Threat increases by 8. Rally phase. Scouting 2. Gimli. Ooh, Ready Defense or Restless Axe. Do we want to build him up to be a shield just in case for later, knowing we've got something nasty coming? Maybe. So put that on top. Then for Legolas, strike 3, Unyielding Spirit. We'll put that on top. All right, and continue. So we're going to speak with the guards for our first action. Stop the infighting. Testing his wit, which is 2. It's not bespilled guards' fault that Ursa's poison has taken their minds, but they cannot be allowed to hurt themselves or others. Sharing a song or riddle may not be a permanent solution, but it may be enough to break through the haze. All right, so we are testing our big wit of 2. So 1 success. We'll turn that into 2 successes. Clouded thoughts of the guards are cleared, at least for now. They meekly rejoin their compatriots, apologizing for their action while under Ursa's spell. Discard this threat token and place a search token as indicated. Don't think I want to search there. I think I want to move. So we will go out there with our first point of movement. Exploring. An area of ruined foundation marks where settlement used to be. Discard and gain. Trick of Wind carries a mournful song to your ears. Place a search token. Something flashes gold in the jumble scree. More searching. But we're going to take our movement, finish in that spot for some more exploration. Several makeshift bridges and gates have been trussed to the crumbling ruins. So we'll just discard that. We're at our max of 3. Get a search token for something tree flutters in the breeze. Child-sized figure huddles up in a tattered cloak, miserable and lonely. Place a threat token. Our journey continues. And what did Embolden do? At the end of your turn, if there are no nearby enemies, discard this boon. Then moving on to Legolas. Start a movement action into here. Explore, yes. One of the city's 3 gates is barricaded against the oncoming army. Now that you have reached it, you will gain valuable information if Ursa's army approaches from this direction. Discard and gain the inspiration. The guards have swayed upon their fellows in the barricades. The infighting. All right, so they're fighting like the others were. Continue. Get to place another tile. So that sits there and is close enough to being on screen. But that's not 205B. Let's see, that will sit there. Fog of War is really cool, unless you're recording on a small table. All right. Our journey continues. We are going to interrupt our movement, so we still have one movement point left to take our second action, I think, yes. To stop the infighting, need to test Wisdom, which is a 3. All right. So same story there. It's not their fault. It's all Ursa's fault. 3 cards. We're going to make it a total of 3. All right, clouded thoughts of the guards are cleared. Discard the threat token and place a search. And we still have one more movement left from what he was doing earlier. But since we don't have any more actions left, I think we'll go out here just to clear out some things. Discard and gain inspiration. A beautiful stretch of waterside has the remnants of logging and a large field of wildflowers. A large oak tree makes pleasant shade here. Series of squeaks sound as if the tree is home to animal life. Place a search token. Our journey continues. And then we are going to spend 1 for our free movement to go over here. And discard and gain the inspiration. A small dock juts out into the water with an old barn nearby. Get a search token. Made a scene of torn soil, toppled trees, and bloody earth. An enormous bear takes shallow breaths. Okay. And then we started here. 1, 2, and 3. So at the end of your turn, if you move 3 or more spaces, this turn gain an inspiration. We will do so. And I moved Gimli's off screen when we're doing the map. So I think we are done with our turn. Let Dale burn. Each hero gains an inspiration. At least Legolas does. King Bane is not content to sit idle when he could be of use. Hold the gates. Clear voice rings above clashing metal and cries of pain. For Dale, each hero gains an inspiration. Ursa's army marches on Dale, seeking to break the walls of the city and sever the lineages of Dale. We wouldn't want that. Place 2 your warriors in the indicated spaces. Friends. Look at these unpainted monstrosities. Tired messenger runs messages through the city. Sightings of the enemy, she calls, though no one can rightly say from which direction. Right there, right there. During the next shadow phase, enemies will arrive from an unknown direction. Threat increases by 8. Rally phase. We get to scout 2. Okay, so Gimli's got a restless axe and clever wit. We are going to prepare the wit and put the axe on top. And let's see, that kind of works. For Legolas, on the hunt, once per turn before you or a nearby hero attacks, that hero gains an inspiration. But that is a success. You may discard the skill to apply 3 hits and pierce to a nearby enemy. We'll have our falcon be prepared. All right, action phase. Gimli is going to run back in and attempt to put out a fire. Extinguishing the fire. Let's see, an old weaver and her apprentice shove thick blankets into arms of those strong enough to beat out the flames. Test her might. Yes, Gimli came to the right place. The old woman hands you a blanket with delicate white flowers embroidered carefully along the edge. If you beat down the flames here, you should be able to stop the fire from leaving this block to others. So yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 2 successes. We're going to make it 3 because we can. I feel like 3 is a good number. And it was. With your help, the fires in this area are soon dampened and extinguished. Gain an inspiration. Discard this threat token. All right. So he moved 2 and did an action, so he's done. Over here, what's he shooting into? I think piercing will be good. I still don't know if this happens as part of a fight or outside of a fight or both. So let me search. All right, looks like it cannot interact with another action. So we'll hold on to it. And just do a regular ranged attack to start with, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we have anything else that triggers with this? I don't think so. So 3 successes is what we're dealing with. Which means 7 hits and cleave. And apply. They don't hit back. And I feel like we need to finish them off, so our second action will be another attack. And I think we just need the 5 hits and the cleave should do it, so we'll add a success. Cleave and 5. It's a killing machine. Remove these 2. We are inspired. Then we're going to move one space. And that was with our special ability. So ending the action phase. Gain inspiration. King Bane, hold the gate for Dale. A hero gains inspiration. That's going to be Legolas. Versus army marches. Let's see, place 2 giant spiders. Oh, that's not cool. I guess Gimli's going to fight now. They must have come from that direction. All right, the tire messenger moves between the barricades, transferring precious information on enemy movement. News from the front line. She calls. The enemy approaches during the next shadow phase. Enemies will come from the direction of this barricade. So they're coming from that way. Threat increased by 7. Among the ash and bloodshed, you find yourself grateful that Ollie the troll was defeated before he could wreak more destruction on Dale. Yep, we're glad Ollie the troll is not coming back in here. Scouting 2. So Gimli. Sly tongue. Before you test, you may remove this skill from the adventure to test a stat of your choice. We will prepare that and put that on the bottom. And then for Legolas, he's got 4 cards already prepped. 1, 2. Once per turn before you or nearby hero attacks, that hero gains an inspiration. When you attack, if there are no... Yes, we're prepping that one. So we're going to discard our unyielding spirit, and we'll put on the hunt on the top. And now we've got some actions to do. If I can only get him his long range, that would be better, I guess. So I think we're going to start with Gimli fighting. How nasty are these things? Well, I guess that's the other thing too. With the ranged, we don't get attacked back. So I'm going to start with Legolas. So action 1, movement. Action 2, arrows. Agility, so 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 2 successes. Let's see. Is there 5 hits and cleave enough to do this? Cleave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it is. Yeah, we'll take that. And we got to add 2 hits. No, there are no nearby heroes. Anyway, went through, apply 5 hits. Nearby hero gains an inspiration. We're both full. So Gimli is going to move here, stop to try to put out a fire. See, glass windows periodically shatter outward. Someone must be brave to tear down these burning structures before they injure anyone else. Testing spirit, which I believe his spirit is 5. Yes. We got the right person for the job. You pick up a fire hook and wrap your hands in the leather straps, encouraging others to do the same. The ruined buildings must come down to smother the flames in the dirt below. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there anything else we need to do with our spirit? Nope. 1 success, but I feel like making it 3 is going to be all we need. Through help, the fires in this area are soon dampened and extinguished. Gain an inspiration. Then discard this threat token. And he's got 1 more movement. He's going to go to the gate, even though we know the enemies are coming from that way. We want to at least see that direction. One of the 3 city gates. Gain an inspiration. Threat token. Why? Because of infighting. Why else? 201B. And 302. All right, our journey continues. So he did his 2 actions. Gimli did his 2. So yes, we are done. Shadow phase. Our heroes are fully inspired. The king's just yelling for Dale. We're already fully inspired because Dale's right here. All right, Ursa's army marches on Dale, seeking to break the walls of the city and sever the lineages of Dale. Yeah, we know that. They hate me. 2 orc hunters. All right, so they pop up right there. Tired messenger moves between the barricades, transferring precious information. During the next shadow phase, enemies will come from the same spot, apparently. Threat increases by 7. Rally phase. Scouting 2. When you attack, you may spend any amount to add an equal number of hits. When you would perform a last stand, I know he's going to get hurting at some point, but I don't think I need them prepped just yet. So put them on the bottom. And for Legolas, when a nearby elite enemy activates, you may remove this skill from the adventure to become emboldened. That's going to be awesome to have at some point. But do I want it right now? I mean, we're just below. I think I will go ahead and prep it just to have it. And we'll get rid of our Falcon. Oh yes, and the other card just goes to the bottom. So we've got some actions. We are going to start with Gimli, giving a power speech to these guys. Stop your fighting. This is for Dale. Test your spirit, which is 5. His speech is pretty good. We're going to keep it at 3. I feel good about that. All right. Discard and place a search. And we're going to see what all this searching is about. Well, the city burns, it troubles are worsened by the circumstances of the barricades. Well, in that case, just movement. And then for Legolas, try to put out the last fire. Desperate people attempt to save buildings or beyond their help. Heedless of the fire that spreads along the new street, convince him to another course of action. With a sharp whistle, you gain the attention of the gathered helpers and direct their attention to the first, stopping the fire from wreaking even worse damage upon the city. Testing our wit of 3. And we will bump that up to 2 successes. The fires in this area are soon dampened. Gain an inspiration. Then discard this threat. So 5 of the 5 fires are out. The fire threatening Dale has been tamed to baleful embers for now. The guards may focus instead on the defense of Dale. Enemies seek to breach the city in great numbers. The city's 3 gates have been barricaded against the oncoming army. Your place is on the barricades in the battle to defend the lives of Dale from those who seek to claim them. Repel the invading forces. So he's got 1 more action left, but those guys have ranged. Oh, I think that should be going for sure. So he's going to use searching. Okay. Yes, since the fires are out, we can now do this stuff. So we're going to use 1 for movement and brace defenses. Testing our might of 2. And then we're going to use our light-footed. When you interact with a search or threat token before you test, you may discard the skill to test our agility instead and scout 1. So we get to scout 1 first. We'll prep it. And now we're doing the test with agility of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 0 successes, but we can spend 3 to pass. Few of the Dale folk realize your intent and pitch in to strengthen the barricade. It will not hold long, but it should slow the next wave of foes. No immediate effect. When enemy groups move toward Dale during this shadow phase, enemy groups in the same space as the barricade will not move. And then, at the end of your turn, you may discard the skill to gain an inspiration or scout 1. We're going to gain an inspiration. And I think that's her turn. So shadows. Each hero gains an inspiration, or at least Legolas. Those things want to move 1 and attack someone, which is not a possibility, so they have no target. The orc counts its arrows as it stalks towards you. Move 2 spaces towards the closest place adjacent to a hero. 1, 2. Right where Gimli wants them. Alright. King Bane is not content. So a tired messenger appears at her side for you by order of the king. Hero places a depletion token on an equipped item. Well, the only thing we have left, we've used our boots once, so we'll just replenish that. Thank you, King. His army cannot be turned. So long as they are able, they will pursue the destruction of Dale. Each enemy group, readied and exhausted, moves 1 space toward Dale, either tile 202A or 300B. Enemy groups in a space with a barricade do not move. Alright, so they're in with a barricade, so not moving. How many enemy groups are in Dale? 0. The walls of Dale are sturdy. Your intrepid defense has kept the city safe for now. Continue. The marches on Dale, seeking to break the walls. An orc hunter. He pops up there. Then we get 1 ruffian popping up there. All right, Tire Messenger moves between the barricades. During the next shadow phase, they're popping out from this area. Threat increases by 5. The ground lurches, threatening your footing before settling flat once more. Whatever is happening below ground appears to be heading straight for Dale. Rally phase. Feel like something bad's on the way. Scouting 2. All right, final defense and resting. Guard 3. We are about to jump into a bunch of things. So we're going to discard and prep and put this on the bottom. All right. In your turn, you may discard this to perform an action you have not performed yet. Might as well prep that. Put that on the bottom. And moving on. All right. Gimli's moving and then attacking. And that's the group of 2. Or, yeah, he can't. Do I want him moving first? Because potentially he could move over twice and just take care of both of them with his cleave. Yeah, we're going to start with him. Moving to... Going to his arrows for an attack. Oh, goodness. Just 2 successes. Which isn't going to kill him, I don't think. It's going to do 5 hits and cleave. And apply. Ooh, and they're going to shoot back. They sure can. All right. Agility negates. An orc raises a great bow and pulls back the string. 2 arrows fly toward you at once. We'll negate all 3. And then, oh, I forgot. We had the additional 2 hits. Yeah, they should be dead. When you attack, oh, if there's no nearby. Nope, we're good then. Never mind. So in that case, Gimli moves in. Goes to attack them. 2, 3, 4. He's got 1 success. We'll make it 2 successes, which gives him 6 hits. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Confirm. They move on. We get an inspiration, which we're going to give to Legolas since he is nearby. Then we are going to finish our movement there. All right, moving on. Into the shadow phase. Each hero gains an inspiration. They want to move 1 and attack Legolas, which is not an option, but they can shoot at Gimli. So he's got 3 coming at him. He's got 1 auto defense. Oh, agility negates. His agility is 1. I think he'll be fine. We are just going to use that for the guard 3. And then they want to move 2 and attack Legolas, which they can. Might negates. He's got a might of 2. So we're saying there's a chance. And he'll make it. A hero becomes emboldened. We will make that Legolas. Let's see, where's a good spot? Right there. All right, each enemy group moves 1 space towards Dale. How many enemy groups are in Dale? 1. Enemies in Dale destabilize the already precarious position of the city. They cannot be left to wreak further death and destruction. Agreed. All right. Place 3 ruffians there. All right. Oh, those guys are wrestling. Uh-oh. The next batch is coming from this direction. Threat increases by 5. Rally phase, scouting 2. Poor Gimli, do better. All right, poet, before you interact with a person token, gain an inspiration, and rest 2. He'll prepare his poet's heart. We will place that on the bottom. And then over here for Legolas, one, 2. We will get rid of Unyielding Spirit and put Immortality there and put that on the bottom. All right, first thing, we're going with Legolas. He's going to use that for his free movement that doesn't provoke. Then he's going to shoot back in there at that one solo guy. 4 cards. He's got 2 successes, which is going to be enough with his gives him 5 hits in cleave, so 7 hits in cleave. So he goes away. We get inspired. Then he's going to shoot in here. Against the Orc Hunter, I think. Yes. So 4 cards. 2 successes. Which gets his cleave and 7 hits, so the 5 plus the 2. And gains an inspiration. And then Gimli is going to move in with those 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. With his battle axe. 1 success. We're going to make it 4 successes, which is going to give him 11 hits and Sunder. Oops, just 11. So 2 of those are out. And the enemy can attack with agility negating. We get 1 auto success, and we're going to take 1 damage. And that is, keep this card face up. Before you interact with a threat token, you must spend an inspiration. And that's going to be our turn. So Shadow Phase. We each gain an inspiration. A hero gains an inspiration. We're going to give that to Gimli. Each enemy group moves a space towards Dale. How many groups are in Dale? 0. They really don't like us. They still want to kill us. A cave troll coming from the beach with a flag. Tired Messenger says the next group comes from that direction. Threat goes up by 5, which triggers a worm burst. A worm burst, if I can speak. A worm burst from the ground, creating a tunnel that allows some enemies to bypass the barricades completely. That's not good. Place a warg rider right there. And a pit goblin. And now we rally. That's not good at all. Scouting 2. Okay. How do I get through this mess? Let's see, that's for Gimli. Both of those go on the bottom. And for Legolas, his 2 cards. We've got Strike 2. Is there anything I want to get rid of? I think we're just going to put that on top and that on the bottom. All right, Gimli going to start his first movement point into here and try to kill the last of the ruffians, because he was a slacker and didn't take out all 3 last time. We got 1 success. We're going to make it 2, and I'm going to remember to put that back on top. And those 2 successes give us 6 hits. And we gain an inspiration and remove the ruffian. We still have a movement left, so we will go there. All right, Legolas. I'm going to shoot in at this guy. So we're getting 4. And I think all we need is 5 hits. So we're going to have to spend 1 to get the 2 hits, 2 successes to get the 5 hits and cleave, which means 7 hits. So the pit goblin is going to go away, and we are inspired by that action. Then we're going to take a move action. Well, do we move the full 2 or just stick here with Gimli? I think we just stay there with... I don't like being nearby, though. I think for now we'll go for the defense. Okay, ending her turn. Shadow phase. Each hero gains an inspiration. Let's see, he wants to move one and attack Gimli. Can't, so no target. Moves 2 spaces. 1, 2 in the city. That thing wants to attack Legolas, and he's got ranged. So he's good. Well, he's not inner space. We have unit cannot pass, so we can have Gimli become the defender. Testing might to defend with. We have 3 successes, so he's fine. A hero becomes emboldened, and that is going to be Gimli. All right, everyone's already in the city. We're having a party at Dale. We've got 2 inside. They are destabilizing. We know Ursa's mad. A fell beast. I really shouldn't have bought all these expansions. All right, Tired Messenger says something else is coming from that way again. Threat goes up by 5. We have huge problems, but we get to rally first. Okay. So 1, 2. Ready to fence. Undying Might. I think we're just going to put that on top and this one on the bottom. And on this side, Dwarf Friend or Ancient Wisdom. Both on the bottom. Into our actions. How vicious is that thing? Pretty vicious. Pretty vicious, pretty vicious. Got it. All right, Gimli's going to do a move action. Then Gimli is going to deplete his dust treaders before you move out of a space or interact with a token. You may deplete this item to not provoke attacks. He's going to move over here. So that's his movement. Then he's going to start a fight with the fell beast. So what kind of goodies does he have? He's emboldened. So he gets +2 hits on this. But I think that's it. So he's going to get 3 successes. Does Sunder do anything? No. So in that case, we're going to do the not Sunder, get the 6 + 3 + 2, so 11 hits. And confirm. Remove the fell beast. We are inspired. Still counts as 1. Okay, and I did that so he's no longer nearby a friend. So that way his stalk prey, when you attack if there are no nearby heroes, add 2 hits. So he'll be adding 4 hits to his attacks. Cave Troll or War Grider? We're going to go after the War Grider first. So that's going to be 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 successes. We will spend 2 to get us 2 successes. So that's going to be 5 hits and cleave, along with 2 and 2, so 9 hits and cleave. Oops, 9. And strike 2. When you attack, discard to add 2 hits. Apply and confirm. So at the end of his turn, he was next to an enemy. So he gets to keep his emboldened. And now for second action, shooting there. Cave Troll, 4 cards, 3, 4. We've got 2 successes. How many is it going to take? We've got 9 to start with. So we're going to need 2 more successes to make that work out. So with 4 successes, we had 5 plus 2 plus 2, 2 and 2. Which is just enough to take out a Cave Troll. And we just gain 1 inspiration from that. The end of her turn, there are no nearby enemies, so we have to discard that. So that's going to be it for our actions. Shadow phase. Hero gains an inspiration. A hero gains an inspiration for Dale. Nurse's army is going to continue coming in. 3 giant spiders. Gimli loves some spiders. Ooh, a soldier also. He's mediocre on soldiers. During the next shadow phase, enemies will come from that direction. Good to know. Threat increases by 5. Rally phase. Scouting 2. Don't know if you can hear that, but my cats are fighting next to me. They are inspired by Lord of the Rings. Time of need. So this is Gimli. Is there anything up there I want to give up? Not really. Time of need, I mean, we'll put that on top. We know it's going to cost us some, but it is 2 successes. And then for Legolas, he's got room for something new. All right, Light-footed, Undying Might. It's a success, but we'll prep it. It was good last time we used it. Continuing on, action phase. So Gimli is emboldened, and in order to stay emboldened, he needs to end his turn with enemies on deck. So good chance he's not killing everything, so I'm going to go with him first. And he'll try taking out the lonely soldier. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 1 success. We knew that was coming. With 2 successes, we're just going to spend 1. That will give him 6 hits from his axe, but he's got 2 from being emboldened, so that's going to be 8 hits. And confirm on that to kill the soldier and be a little inspired from that. And do we really care about the spiders? I like him being emboldened more. What do we got to do to flip this? Oh well, he'll attack just to see how many he can get rid of. So we've got 4, those are 2 successes, which is 6, 8 hits, which sounds good. That leaves 1 on the board. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll apply that, confirm, remove 2 giant spiders. One of them's going to hit back. After this attack, flip a damage face up. He's doing something where his wit will negate. But we can still go in with our might. And we get 1 auto success, so we'll spend another one for a second success to take no damage. And we have to flip 1 wound face up, which is already face up. And confirm. And in his turn, he's still got an enemy next, so he's still emboldened. Then we will go on to Legolas, starting a movement. Interrupt his movement to shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 2 successes, and with his bow, the 2 successes of 5 hits and sunder. So that's going to kill the spider off and gain an inspiration. And continue moving. End our action phase. Into the shadows. All right, each of us can gain inspiration, and we will. A hero becomes emboldened. That'll be Legolas. Ursa still hates us. An orc taskmaster. Just cracking his whip up on the gate. See, tired messenger runs. Next batch coming from that direction. Threat increases by 5, so Ursa should be coming out next phase. So then we can go. Oh, I feel like I need to start prepping up some more strikes then. We've got the Nemesis card at the ready. So Gimli, time of need, Kinship. Let's see, the Poet's Heart really isn't helping us. So we're going to discard it and put Time of Need up there and put Kinship on the bottom. And for Legolas, yeah, care less about either of those on the bottom. Action phase. How strong is that guy? Well, that's pretty healthy. Legolas is going to spend one to move here. We're going to interact with that token. Or do we interact with that one? Yes. Spend one to move there. First action. Brace defenses again. Testing our might. And once again using light-footed for that test. So we can scout one and use agility instead. We will put Ancient Wisdom up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. We need 3 to pass, so we'll spend 3 to pass on that. So that's barricaded better. And then our second action, we're just going to move 2, end or turn nearby an enemy to keep emboldened. And see if Gimli can kill that thing on his own. All right. Gimli. He's got 2 successes. He is +2, so that is 8 hits. Do we really want him to kill it? Or remain emboldened? We'll just use the 8 hits from those 2 successes. The enemy can attack. We get one auto success, and we get to use our might to negate. And we will succeed, preventing all the damage. And, oops, end action phase, cancel. I've got one more attack left. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2 successes. So that's 8 hits. That's enough to kill it, unfortunately. Oh well. Confirm. We are inspired. He goes away. We are no longer emboldened. And now we are done confirming. Shadow phase. Gain an inspiration. Like his father before him, the Tire Messenger appears at your side. Let's see. Yeah, we can put 1 token back on our boots, and we will. Ursa still hates us so much that she's sending 2 orc hunters after us. And a pit goblin. next shadow phase, enemies are coming from that direction. Threat increases by 5. Place Ursa as indicated. Ursa's army parts and she strides triumphantly down the field, her eyes glowing. Defenders of Dalehav, look forward to this day. Your deaths will be the sweet beginning of my final vengeance. Do not keep me waiting. All right, Ursa, Gimli, the matchup begins. Meet Ursa on the battlefield. Done. Ursa is in her element, the clang of the warhammer against the armors of her foes ringing across the countryside. For Dale to be at peace, Ursa must be stopped. Rally phase. So now it just comes down to how many times do we need to defeat Ursa? Because I feel like when we met her before, we'd hit her and she'd come back. Ooh. Strike 2 and a success. That means that gets discarded. So at the start of your turn, you may discard this skill to attack and add 2 hits. And I think that just gives us an extra attack then. And then over here, strike 2, honed agility. For you or a nearby hero attacks, that hero gains an inspiration. Well, maxed out, it would be nice if we would get an extra inspiration. So we'll put honed agility on the bottom, discard, and prepare that. All right, action phase. (21) with 4 magical resistance and 2 armor. Unfortunately, we are nearby one of our heroes. When a nearby elite enemy activates, you may remove this skill. Pretty sure she's elite. To become emboldened, if you do, that enemy cannot move or attack during its activation. So that's something to keep in place. All right, so we're starting with Legolas. Once per turn before a nearby hero attacks, picking himself, gain an inspiration. All right. We've got 4 cards, 1 success. We're going to spend 2 to get 3 successes. Those 3 successes are going to give us 7 hits and cleave. Then we get 2 hits from that. And then we're going to go ahead and spin this for strike 2. And apply. All right, can the enemy attack? No. Second action, we are going to do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to end up with 3 successes. Once again, that is 7 hits and cleave. So 7 does 1 damage, and then we're +2. And we have no more tricks up our sleeve. So apply. And confirm. Can the enemy attack? No. Do we want to move 1 space? Nope, we can't. All right, so on to Gimli's turn. Let me earthquake over here. Restless Axe. At the start of your turn, you may discard the skill to attack and add 2 hits. So basically, I think he's going to have 3 attacks this turn. So this first attack is automatically +2 hits. He's not emboldened. So 4 cards. We've got 3 successes. Does Sunder do anything? Gets rid of 1 armor, so it doesn't matter between. So we had 3 successes, so that's going to be 8 hits in Sunder. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus those 2. And apply. Can the enemy attack? Unfortunately, yes. Oh, goodness. After this attack, flip to activates. Not activating. Oh, then move her to the closest space without a hero. She getting scared? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 0 successes. Well, we got 1 auto. Oh, time of need. We got 3 successes. Plus the 1, so we got 4. Do I take the fear? I think I'm going to take 1 damage and 2 fear. So the 1 damage is just flip this face down. And that's going to flip back up again. Well, we'll just keep going here. Because we stopped 4, so we're taking 3 somehow. So that's 1. Keep this card face up. If you would discard it face up, flip it face down instead. Well, that's a bummer. And we'll take 1 of these. Flip this card face down, so we've got 1 gloom. And now she's going to move to the nearest space without an enemy. All right. Just curious. What's lead a charge do? Rout enemies. The folk at the barricade are eager to protect their home, but justly frightened by the armies. You must inspire them to action. So our wisdom is 2. We need 3 to succeed. We got 1 success, so we failed. Ooh. Moved her away so her nemesis ability ain't going to work. I'll just bring Gimli in here to help protect. Ender action phase. Each hero gains an inspiration. Let's see, they want to move one and attack. They're definitely too far away, so no target. Move 2 spaces. 1, 2, all right. Move 2, no target. Move 4 spaces to the closest hero. 1, 2, 3, 4. They found us. A hero becomes emboldened. And that is going to be Gimli now. All right, Ursa's army cannot be turned from their purpose. So long as they are able, they will pursue the destruction of Dale. Each enemy group moves 1 space closer. I think that means that also. How many groups? So there's 2 groups in Dale. That could be a problem. Between fire and foe, half the city has been reduced to naught but rubble and ash. The people may yet survive if you can protect them. Ursa still dislikes us. Ooh, an orc hunter. Oh, I was thinking orc. Another one of these dudes. Okay, we can handle that. Maybe. During the next shadow phase, monsters coming from that way. Threat increases by 5. Rally phase, scouting 2. All right. Undying when you would perform a last stand. Yeah, we'll prep that just in case and put that on the bottom. And over here, hope for something super nasty. Light-footed. I think we'll just put the success on top and that there. How do we want this to go? How nasty is that guy? Not bad at all. It's just a waste of a fight. But yeah, I'm going to have Gimli go after the lone pit goblin. Wow. That's pretty awesome. So we're going to have to spend 2 to give us our 6 hits plus 2 for embolden, which is more than enough to defeat that. And he's inspired by that for some reason. And those guys are just going to be a pain, so he will move over there and end his turn. So it keeps us emboldened. Legolas, we got to keep the fight on Ursa. But without much inspiration, I think first he's going after the Orc Hunter. Well, instead of moving in there, Gimli is going to move over here to allow his stalk prey ability to work. So take that back just a bit, but still his first attack is going to be over here. He's plus 2 hits from the stalk prey and 2 from emboldened. And so 2 successes with his bow. That's 5 hits. Plus, so total 9 hits. To defeat. Gain a little inspiration before making our second attack on Ursa. So we're getting our plus 4 hits. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is our cards. We are going to get 2 successes. And then, so that's going to be a total of 9 hits with cleave, which is not that impressive. Taking her down a little bit, and the enemy cannot attack back. So that is going to be our turn, unless I want to do an action. At the end of your turn, you may discard the skill to perform an action that you have not performed this turn. And I'm not going to use that. All right, ending her turn. Confirmed. We each gain an inspiration. They want to move and attack Gimli, which is definitely a possibility. So they attack. He has his 1 auto success, and he can use his might. Let's just say if you suffer damage from this attack, discard determined. Oh yes, he ran way over there. At the end of his turn, he lost his emboldened. But I still think it was worth it. All right, so back to this. We're going to spin 2, which will give us 3 successes plus our 1 for ready defense. So we're fine from that attack. And then when a nearby elite enemy activates, you may remove the skill from the adventure to become emboldened. We're already emboldened. If you do, that enemy cannot move or attack during its activation. So basically it's got no target. All right, she still can't move. During its activation. All right. Like his father before him, King Bane issues booming orders, seeing to the protection of Dale and its people. A hero may prepare 1 card from their discard. Well, Legolas won the hunt. Give a strike 2. then all the enemies want to move closer. Ursa still can't move, I think. Well, I don't think that's part of her activation. So we'll say she can move. And we have two groups. In Dale, we must hold off the enemy. Ursa's army keeps to hate us. We get an orc hunter. Back up here. During the next shadow phase, they're coming from that direction. Threat continues to increase. We get to reset and scout 2. What is Ursa's health at? Well, I guess we'll figure out once I finish scouting. Sly-tongued and honed agility. Prep that and put this on the bottom. And over here, we're going to put a success on top and that on the bottom. All right. Action phase. He's not nearby hero. He's going to start with his first attack up here to try to get some more inspiration. So that guy has a total of 5 health plus 1 armor. We're plus 4 hits to start with. We get 1 success. And with our bow, 1 success. Where to put my bow? Gets us 2 hits, so we're at 6 hits, which is just what we need to get through that portion. Confirm. We gain an inspiration and remove the orc hunter. And then we gain that just so we, I guess I'm just not going to move. Let's see. On your turn, before you or a nearby hero attacks, gain an inspiration. So torn. Should I be able to defeat? It's going to be 5. I need 9 to take it down. Yep, I'm attacking from right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So going to take, if I spin 2, that gives me the 5 hits and cleave. And plus 2 for embolden and 2 for stalking prey. Is that it? Or is Ursa coming back? Remove Ursa. That's not good. You or a nearby hero gains an inspiration. It's going to be us. Ursa grins, unconcerned by her grievous spectral wounds. Finally, a worthy opponent. This time I will not die on my knees in the mud, consented to by old weak men and women. There's only glory left for you and I. Mercy is not condescension. I will end you. You have harmed too many. There is no glory in death. I think we say you have harmed too many. Is it not my due? I have waited long to watch Dale crumble, and I will not let it rebuild anew. You are so concerned with harm to others when you should be worrying about how I will harm you. Then with a jubilant battle cry, Ursa's body duplicates. Yep. Saw that coming. One of the duplicates sinks into the ground, then reappears. Place a Shadow Man as indicated. So Shadow Man is there. This may be Ursa. The other duplicate is blown away by the wind, only to reform somewhere else. Place a Shadow Man as indicated. I wasn't paying attention. I think that's that one, or at least I hope so. And then this one comes here with a different symbol. That might be that. This may be Ursa. Final objective, defeat the true Ursa once and for all. Well, that's just awesome. What have we been doing? We just defeated the fake one. Okay, so he attacked over there, then attacked where he was. And for protection is going to spend to move in here. Why is that protection? Because Gimli, is right over there. Never mind. We'll take that back. Gimli still has 2 actions. Is this the fake or the real? Nobody knows. All right, so Gimli attacks the fake or the real, gets 1 success. Let's see, do we have anything else? Before you test, you may, yes. We've got nothing to really help us. I can make that to 2, which does make 6 hits out of it. So I will. Can the enemy attack? Sure can. Agility negates. That's awesome. We are going to spend one of our boot tokens so that we can use might instead. We get our 1 auto success from our ready defense, and that's going to give us a total of 3 successes. And we're just going to guard the rest away. And then we're going to attack. One, two, three, 4. Got nothing to help us. 2 successes, so that's 6 hits. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Apply, confirm. Can it attack back? It sure can. If you suffer any from this attack, shuffle a weakness into your deck. All right. Spirit negate, so we get 5. Went through her deck, so we'll shuffle. Get 2 more. And their successes are, all right, so we get 2 successes. 1 plus her always. Let's see. We're stopping 2. We'll take 2 fear. We'll take 1 here. So it gets flipped over after we look at it. And then gloom, flip it face down. And then each nearby hero flips 1 face up. we don't have a nearby hero, then flip this card. Infighting, there's been a lot of that. And we're on the gate. Makes sense. Alright, if you suffer any from shuffle one weakness into your deck. And the one weakness I found was uncertain. Alright, confirm. That's going to end her turn. Into action phase, shadow phase, bad things are going to happen. Each hero gains an inspiration. Alright. That group is these. They want to shoot at Gimli, and they can, so they will. Might negates. Our might is 4. Still have the 1 auto success. So we have 3 successes, so we are good. Alright, so this one wants to move 1, ignoring terrain, and attack Legolas. Can't. So no target. Moves 2 spaces towards the closest hero. 1, 2. Found Legolas that time. A hero gains an inspiration. We will give that to Gimli. Ursa's armies, they all want to move 1 space. Well, this is going to be the first time we've had 3 in there. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, we just lost. The Haunting of Dale, the end. Tide of battle is unstoppable as the fire-consuming Dale grows to an inferno and Ursa's troops march through every street. Few citizens escape. The stronghold of the king's estate and council chambers hold for little more than an hour. The thick walls of stone and barred doors of oak are useless against the shades. Soon, Ursa stands before King Bane's throne, ghostly teeth barred in a grin with a single crushing blow from her warhammer. The tear and destruction of Dale is finalized, and Ursa's oath of vengeance is fulfilled. The end. I feel like we could have taken out both of those next turn, but we did not have that option. So as always, hope you enjoyed this video. So please click on the like button below, and thanks for joining along with the Haunting of Dale. I am still haunted by this game, but it is a fun one to play. Thanks for watching.